One Piece's a power system has always interested me, especially given how different it is compared to other shonen and general action-oriented stuff. But when Haki got introduced, a sort of shift happened. One that I think the series has been slightly brought down by due to a lack of variety in battles and general redundancy that Haki brings. Now, this is going to be mostly a negative video, but before we get into anything, I love One Piece. If you think me complaining about one thing, even though I have a long ass list of stuff I love about the series, makes me a hater, or not a real fan, or whatever, then eat shit. Shit. Fuck off. God. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. There. Right here. Right here. There we go. I did it. If we look at just the pre-time skip, most of my issues with the current One Piece power system sort of just don't exist. It's very simple yet effective here, with most characters eating a devil fruit which gives them a uniquely integrated power. I am not one of those One Piece fans who say that pre-time skip is better at everything and was perfect from start to finish and One Piece fell off or whatever. I actually think those people are extremely annoying. But really, in hindsight, having a unique devil fruit one eats and trains as their main source of power was really cool. It felt varied, it felt unique, and how it made some characters to be almost like a puzzle. The characters would have to solve, like Crocodile's Sand or Enel's Lightning. I'm aware we had stuff like the 6 special moves in Enies Lobby. Those are pretty base too. These abilities in someone felt unique and implemented very good. Then around the Summit War, Haki started to be seen, and well, I guess we'll just transition there. Haki comes with 3 forms: Armament, Observation, and Conquerors. Observation will not really be mentioned again in this video. I really like how it and its advanced form are handled, and generally really don't have any complaints there. The main Hakis I will be critiquing today are Armament and Conquerors, because they really make fights boring to me. I will first say this right off the bat: I do not care at all that Armament negates Logia. Pre-time skip was 600 chapters ago. We ate enough of having to deal with Logia powers. It really doesn't matter to me. In fact, I'm okay with how both basic Conquerors and Armament are implemented. The problem was, unfortunately, when Advanced Armament and Advanced Conquerors got introduced. Say before I get into anything, my problems are much bigger than stupid power scalers who say bullshit like, oh, I can't see the red lightning, therefore can't tell how much the character is trying, so I can't see if it's a mid diff or a high diff. Bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. The thing is, these abilities were introduced to attack Kaido efficiently, which, okay, makes sense, but after this arc, shouldn't we kind of see the longevity of this? Why are all fights now just, oh, I have better Haki than you, and oh, my punch is harder? Now, that's not an interesting upgrade. I do not care about the difference between an armament punch, an advanced armament punch, and an advanced conqueror's punch, because someone punching harder is not a unique, varied power-up. It's redundant. It's boring. I don't care now there's a ton of lightning on the panel. If anything, all it does is make the fight uglier to look at. And I swear to God, the fact the Holy Knights requires Advanced Conquerors really sucks ass. Kaido says in Wano, oh, Advanced Conquerors is the strongest thing, from then just 2 arcs later to be up, oh no, actually, you have to make it stronger, Luffy, to beat the regeneration. It's so boring. Oh, the secret to defeat them is to punch harder. Very cool. The thing us not knowing which ability is being used during a battle wouldn't even be much of an issue if these powers were treated for what they were, a stronger punch. But for some reason, we see their abilities would actually benefit the heroes, meaning them not using powers they got to solve future problems extremely unsatisfying, because they would actually help fight. Would the Gorosei even be defeated if Luffy just used the power he spent so much time trying to get? If so, that's very frustrating. Why did he even get it then? Advanced Armament is pretty unique. It hurts you on the inside, but there's only so many that would actually be useful to, and this gets a whole training segment just to be used on one villain and never ever seen again. Imagine during the fight with Warkuri, we got to see this again of how strong his skin is, and Luffy uses Advanced Armament on him to hurt him. But nope, we just don't. The secret of beating regen being a power we already know before is the stupidest shit ever. Like, okay. Imagine if Luffy knew armament before encountering a Logia, but the reason why he can't hurt Crocodile is just he didn't know his armament would do anything. That's very sloppy. And please, for the love of God, Oda, give the other Straw Hats Haki. It's baffling to me if a fucking fodder random character ate some mid-ass Logia Logia, what? Someone Nico Robin would technically be unable to hurt because she would have no armament Haki and he is a Logia. We are at the final saga. There's no excuse, especially considering Advanced Conquerors is the only way to hurt extremely important antagonists in the story. So like only a dozen or so people can even do that. Characters that have extreme durability and just don't dodge are getting very old. It's been the villain gimmick forever now. It makes fights so boring knowing our heroes won't do any damage to the villains until we get some power up that lets them punch stronger. It's just repetitive and I'm sick of it. I think Katakuri versus Luffy is how you do something like this. Future Sight is so much more unique than Luffy's fight with Kaido because Luffy basically learned to punch harder twice. While during the fight with Katakuri, he didn't do anything to punch harder, he learned to make his punches actually land, and that's really cool. Even if you do forgive Kaido doing the same thing over and over again, Haki gets old knowing all it adds are ugly looking art to the panels and oh my punch hurts harder, seriously. The issue isn't, oh, I need to know which power it is so I can see what diff my BS power scaling agenda fight is. But if these powers are not important enough to differentiate from, why do they even exist in the first place? They make fights only, I have stronger Haki. My punch hurts more rather than a genuinely cool, unique, interesting way to solve a villain's gimmick, like we saw with Water Luffy or against an L. I don't hate the idea of Haki. I think it's really cool to have a power system that's the complete opposite of devil fruits instead of just being lucky and eating a cool fruit. You get strong in your own willpower. I think that's so damn awesome. They work together so wonderfully in that aspect. But when these two advanced forms got introduced, it really feels like the entire fighting system of One Piece has just become who could punch harder, and it's just boring. I personally would make advanced armament affect the environment more. When Sabo destroyed the entire Colosseum in Dressrosa, for example, that was so cool. I know that sounds pretty boring, but in all honesty, there's not much I can think of here. Hurting someone on the inside sounds much more useful than it is in terms of crafting an interesting fight. Now, Advanced Conquerors is even worse. What does this add other than I'm a stronger punch? I don't know. Maybe make it where it can actually negate devil fruit powers instead of just hearing Haki does that. Like, imagine if Luffy hits Karzari with an Advanced Conqueror's punch. He can't use his light abilities for a short period of time. That'd be so cool. I know what some of you might be thinking. If you think that would be cool, how is it not cool if it's disabling the God Knight's regen? And that's because devil fruit abilities are offensive and defensive. Regen is just defensive, punching someone a million times until your Haki is good enough to hurt them. It doesn't actually change the fight. It'd be no different if they didn't have the regen ability at all. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'd much rather still not have these abilities exist. I mean, if we compare them to say like Luffy's gears or Devil Fruit Awakenings in general, they don't feel special at all in comparison. Everyone keeps saying Kainu Awakening, Logia Awakening, Zoan Awakening, yada yada. No one gives a shit about these Haki abilities because of how similar and boring they are with each other. And I know already said this already, but seriously, Oda, give the other Straw Hats Haki. Give them it!